And join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let the record show that all members of the City Council are present this evening, with the exception of Councilman Cook. Copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted on the west wall and is accessible to the public at any time during the course of this meeting. First thing on the agenda, and it is my pleasure to recognize 5 elementary students who are with us this evening who participated in the Great American Cleanup Elementary Clean Your Block Party, and they are designated as the 2018 Mayor for the day. And I'm going to read their names, and I do have certificates for each one of them, and I'll tell you of their accomplishments. The first one is Vincent Viveros. He's a 3rd grader from Lincoln Elementary School. He picked up litter around the block where he lives and the surrounding neighborhoods. He also cleaned up around the Walmart parking lot. That'd be a big job. Vincent found water bottles, cigarettes, cans, diapers, plastic shopping bags, and broken glass. The next is Claire McGrury. Claire is a 4th grader at Paddock Lane Elementary. She picked up litter along the Dempster fence and along the future bike trail. Claire found cups, fiberglass, plastic bags, cans, bottles, a tire, and she has her dad's magic, found a $5 bill too. The next one is Bayu Wang. His American name is Tony. 2nd grader, picked up litter at Hoyt Street and North 26th Street, and also around Hannibal Park. Tony found water bottles, a milk box, fast food sacks, soda cups, and snack boxes. From St. Joseph's Catholic School, Megan Powers, who is a 5th grader, picked up litter around her neighborhood. Megan found fast food wrappers, plastic water bottles, sacks, pieces of paper, and newspapers. And from St. Paul Lutheran School, Sloan Penner, she's a 2nd grader. She picked up litter from the Holy Cross Church area and around the fence at Astro Park on 19th Street. Sloan found a plastic plant pot, pasta box, deodorant, plastic bags, a glove, and cigarettes. I'm going to have each one of them come up here. They can sit in the chair if they want, but I'm going to present them with a certificate. And that certificate, first of all, is to Vincent Viveros. Vincent, you want to come on up? Here's your certificate. And if you want to turn it around and show Mrs. Grill, she's going to take a picture. Well, I want to see your face, too. You're a pretty handsome guy.
Maybe he wants to swing the gavel, too.
There's a paycheck comes with that seat.
It's not much.
Better get the hammer.
Especially if you do it on that amount of time he spends in that chair. So it's all prorated.
All right. Thank you, Vincent. The next one is Claire McGrury. Claire, come on up. We'll fold it like this so you don't cover your face.
There you go.
Dad wants to take a picture. Turn it around. You're slow just like your dad, too. I'll put it down this way. Very good. Thank you.
I don't know, she got $50 for coming in this meeting. What we got?
Next one is Tony Wang. By you. There, you want to hold it this way? Get out of the way. You got a big fan club.
Autographs later.
Megan Powers. Megan? Got it? And last is Sloan Penner. Congratulations. I'll take a picture of you.
Holly, take note, your daughter is wearing the perfect set of earrings. They're not Wisconsin.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should thank these students for their special part in taking upon themselves the opportunity to clean up Beatrice, Gage County, and help keep America beautiful. So thank you very much. One more round of applause for them. All right, we're going to continue now with our regular agenda. And we have several proclamations that we're going to issue this evening. It just seems like the month of May is a busy month all around. And I will go ahead and read those proclamations. First one is Drinking Water Week, May the 6th through the 12th, 2018. Proclamation reads as follows: whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas only tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy. And whereas any measure of a successful society, low mortality rates, economic growth and diversity, productivity, and public safety, are we in some way related to the access of safe water. And whereas we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which future generations depend. And whereas each citizen of our city is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know their water. Now, therefore, I, Stan Worth, Mayor of the City of Beatrice, do proclaim May 6th through the 12th, 2018, as Drinking Water Week in the City of Beatrice. Witness my hand on official seal this 7th day of May, 2018, and Steve Kelly, our water and superintendent, is with us today. Steve, I'll present this to you. Want to make any comments?
Thank you, Mayor.
You want to make any comments, Steve?
Sure. I only like to talk, so we know that before meeting. So. Anyway, we made it another year without having any issues on Beatrice water. We're very blessed to have adequate water supply, not only with quality and quantity, but we also have a great bunch of employees that work for us. And I do appreciate what they do for the city of Beatrice. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Our next proclamation honors one of our own, Municipal Clerks Week, May the 6th through the 12th. The proclamation reads as follows: whereas the office of municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be mindful in their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And whereas the municipal clerks serve as the information center on functions of local government and community. And whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, province, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now, therefore, I, Stan Worth, Mayor of the City of Beatrice, do recognize the week May 6th through the 12th, 2018, as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Aaron Sadoff, to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Witnessed my hand on official seal of the City of Beatrice this 7th day of May, 2018. I'll present this to our city clerk, Aaron.
Speech.
You want to sit in the chair too?
Thank you, Aaron. The next is a proclamation proclaiming Building Safety Month, May 2018. It reads as follows: whereas the City of Beatrice is committed to recognizing our growth and strength and how it depends on the safety and economic value of the homes, buildings, and infrastructure that serve our citizens, both in everyday life and in times of natural disaster. And whereas our confidence in the structural integrity of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of these buildings. And whereas these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a U.S.-based organization that brings together local, state, and federal officials that are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, work, worship, play. And whereas our nation benefits economically and technologically from using the international codes that are developed by a national, voluntary consensus codes and standards developing organization, our government is able to avoid the high cost and complexity of developing and maintaining these codes, which are the most likely adopted building safety and fire prevention codes in the nation. These modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from natural disasters such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas the Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public that the critical role of our community's largely unknown guardians of public safety and our local code officials who assure us of safe, efficient, and livable buildings that are essential to keep America great. And whereas building codes save lives, the theme of the Building Safety Month 2018 encourages all Americans to raise awareness of the importance of building safety and resilient construction, fire prevention, disaster mitigation, and new technologies in the construction industry. Building Safety Month 2018 encourages appropriate steps everyone can take to ensure that places where we live, learn, work, worship, and play are safe, and recognizes that countless lives have been saved due to the implementation of safety codes by local and state agencies. And whereas each year, in observance of the Building Safety Month, Americans are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential services provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, I stand worth Mayor of the City of Beatrice to proclaim the month of May 2018 as Building Safety Month. Accordingly, I encourage our citizens to join with their communities in participating in Building Safety Month activities. Witnessed my hand on official seal, City of Beatrice, this 7th day of May 2018. Building Inspector Rob Mierau is with us. Rob, congratulations. Say something.
Yeah, I just want to kind of reiterate everything you just said here.
It's the
We
mouth.
are working hard to make sure we do have safe buildings where we want to live in and go into public buildings every day. Our offices continue to educate builders, homeowners, and citizens in general on the importance of these things and just how important the building safety is. They do have a safe building to live in and walk into. So, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rob. Next is a proclamation regarding General Aviation Appreciation Month 2018. Proclamation reads as follows: whereas the City of Beatrice in the state of Nebraska has a significant interest in the continued vitality of general aviation, aircraft manufacturing, aviation educational institutions, aviation organizations, and community airports. And whereas general aviation and the Beatrice Municipal Airport have an immense economic impact on the city of Beatrice. And whereas Nebraska is home to 80 public use airports, which serve 3,566 pilots and 2,175 active general aviation aircraft. And whereas Nebraska is home to 70 fixed base operators, 13 repair stations, 37 helicopters, 3 FAA-approved pilot schools, 932 flight students, and 537 flight instructors. And whereas general aviation in Nebraska contributes over $1.2 billion to the state total economic output. And whereas general aviation not only supports Nebraska's economy, it improves overall quality of life by supporting emergency, medical, and healthcare services, law enforcement, firefighting, and disaster relief, and by transporting business travelers to their destinations quickly and safely. And whereas the nation's aviation infrastructure represents an important public benefit, and congressional oversight should be in place of this system to ensure that it remains a public system and serves communities of all sizes. Now, therefore, I, Stan Worth, Mayor of the City of Beatrice, do proclaim General Aviation May as General Aviation Month and General Aviation Appreciation Month. Witnessed my hand on official seal of the City of Beatrice this 7th day of May, 2018. And the airport manager, Diana Smith, is with us. Diana, congratulations.
Thank you. Just take a minute just to thank everyone, all of you, and everyone there up here. Just to thank you for support and insight through all the years, recognizing the importance of the airport to the community. So that it's a great feeling knowing that we have the support. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Diana. And the last proclamation is 2018 Preservation Month. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for sustainable growth and economic development, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining unique community character while enhancing livability. And whereas historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages, all walks of life, and all ethnic backgrounds. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of our heritage that have shaped us as a people and has resulted in downtown Beatrice and other areas of our community to be listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And whereas this place matters shall be the theme within Preservation Month 2017 in Beatrice, co-sponsored by Main Street Beatrice, Gage County Heritage Preservation, and the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And whereas historic preservation is done to save our heritage for our children, in Beatrice they are encouraged to participate during the month of May by drawing the Beatrice building of their choice. And whereas Main Street is celebrating National Preservation Month with the annual Mother's Day Landmark Tour to be held on Sunday, May 13th, highlighting the downtown facade grant project locations. Now, therefore, I, Stan Worth, Mayor of the City of Beatrice, to proclaim May 2018 as National Preservation Month and call upon all people of Beatrice to stake their claim and join their fellow citizens across the United States in taking action, recognizing, and participating in this special observance. Witness my hand on official seal this 7th day of May, 2018. Director of Main Street, Michael Sothen. Michael?
Thank you. I think it's just a few quick announcements. As he mentioned, we do have our Mother's Day landmark tour, which is this Sunday, and everyone in this room is certainly invited, and everywhere else to come out and join us. We get to actually go and step into some of these buildings that are either just recently been renovated or are currently under some renovations. We won't be going all the way around, but we'll get to actually see a sneak peek at a couple of the larger properties, and there's some of the little flyers on your way out if you would like to get some of the details. But that starts at 2 o'clock this Sunday, and luckily here in Beatrice, we're really starting to see a lot of historic preservation work going on, and a lot of that's because of the thanks of the support of the City of Beatrice and really helping secure a federal and state facade grant program that we've been able to bring here, and is actually resulting in 17 properties being improved. And there's a lot of other things that the people of this community coming together to really take back some of those buildings we hold near and dear. So definitely looking forward to a great presentation.
Thank you, Michael. Just one note before we go on with the agenda. You are, the young kids and parents are free to go if you want to go. You can stay. You're certainly welcome to stay all night long if you'd like, but if you need to go someplace, you can go. Looks like Andrea's happy. All right. First item on our agenda tonight is the consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. First item on the agenda is approve agenda as submitted. Item B is receive and place on file all notices pertaining to this meeting. Item C, receive and place on file all materials having any bearing on this meeting. Item D, approval of minutes of regular meeting on April 16th, 2018, as on file in the city clerk's office. Item E, approval of minutes of work session meeting on April 23rd, 2018, as on file in the city clerk's office. Item F, approval of treasurer's report of claims in the amount of $323,460.76. Item G, approval of Boswell report of claims in the amount of $6,604.65. Item H, approval of manager application for Nathan M. Malcolm, license number D-099222, in connection with Shopko Stores Operating Company, LLC, doing business as Shopko Hometown Store number 658, located at 123 North 24th Street, Beatrice, Nebraska. Item I, resolution number 6209, entering into an agreement with Exmark to set terms of the grant distribution and other related matters for the grant received from the Nebraska Department of Economic Development Site and Building Development Fund to purchase and rehabilitate an 84,000 square foot building located at 415 Industrial Row, Beatrice. Item J, resolution number 6210, executing the member intergovernmental cooperative purchase agreement with National Purchasing Partners to contract with vendors under the terms of the master price agreement to purchase goods and services in the same terms, conditions, and pricing as lead contracting agencies. Item K, resolution number 6211, entering into a lease agreement with Larry Delabar for pasture purposes on property located adjacent to the C&D landfill. Item L, resolution number 6212, entering into a lease with Todd Hydo to expand the building at 301 Court Street, Beatrice, Nebraska, for commercial business purposes. Item M, resolution number 6213, reappointing Greg Zarbinitsky to the Community Redevelopment Authority. Item N, resolution number 6214, entering into a grant agreement for grant number DR-4325-NE-002 from Nebraska Emergency Management Agency to update the hazard mitigation plan for Beatrice. Item O, resolution number 6215, executing the National Purchases Cooperative Interlocal Participation Agreement to become a member of the National Purchasing Cooperative and to gain access to the Buy Board electronic purchasing application to purchase goods and services through its membership in the cooperative. And item P, resolution number 6216, entering into a lease agreement between the City of Beatrice, Nebraska, and the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 84, Beatrice, Nebraska, for the purpose of a health and fitness training center in a portion of the second floor of the Beatrice Police Station. Any item that a council member wants removed from the consent agenda?
L, please.
Dwight, L. Anyone else? Anyone from the public? Mr. Catlin?
Mayor, I would move that all the items listed under the consent agenda, with the exception of item L, be approved, accepted, and or ratified as presented.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Morgan, that all items listed under the consent agenda be approved. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0.
Mayor, I would move that item L, resolution number 6212, entering into a lease with Todd Hydo to expand the building at 301 Court Street, Beatrice, Nebraska, for commercial business purposes, be approved, accepted, and/or ratified as presented.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Party. That resolution number 6212, entering into a lease agreement with Tide Hydo, be further discussed. Dwight, you have the floor.
Yes, I have a couple questions. The first one probably is, what property is this located at?
It's 301 Court Street. It is the new building that he purchased. Remember on the west side of that building, there was an old tin addition that was kind of a lean-to.
Kind of a loading dock.
That was what's taken off, and that's the ground you're leasing back to him.
So he's already building on that ground then before he gets a lease?
We talked to him. His contractor had a time slot open. We advised him that he was doing it at his own risk. If this board didn't agree to it, he's going to have to remove
Does
it.
he get a building permit for that section?
I would have to ask Building Inspections Department. He's shaking his head yes.
So how can you get a building permit to a property you don't own though?
That's an encroachment permit.
Just state your name, if you would.
Rob Mierau, Chief Building Inspector. I believe he got a encroachment permit because that was part of our land, because he was putting, basically getting ADA ramps in there, just an entryway in there. Is really all that it is. It's not building on it per se. I mean, yeah, he is, but it's just a walkway for the most part.
So he has an encroachment permit then?
Correct.
Doesn't sound right the way to do it, but.
So now that you got it pulled off, what exactly is it? Is it just a walkway? Is it patio space? I mean, I saw it today. It's an awful lot of concrete.
Well, I don't know if they've done the patio part, but I know they poured walls over there last week, because the walls were part of the ADA ramp that was gonna be over there. And that was I believe Martin Walls was the one that had poured that, and they were the one that had the time slot open to do that. So that was in the right of way, so they had got the encroachment to do that. And both James Burrows and I had checked on everything that needed to be inspected there, so,
Yeah, it's up.
yeah.
25 years just seems like a long time to lease a spot that's not even got a business to it yet.
At the same time, you could look at it's a parcel of ground that the city has owned and had another building sitting on top of for 100 years that we didn't use or occupy. Yeah, I mean, we kicked that around, but that's kind of the reason that you went at that length. Obviously, this body, if they don't agree with that, they can amend it and make it 15 or 10 or 5 or whatever they
Is
want.
there an
So
outlaws onto that then?
there is one in here. I don't remember how much notice it needs to be.
I mean, so 12 and a half years down the road, they're halfway through their lease, you can still break it if need be because the building does longer exist or something else changes?
Yeah, I'd have to read through this. I can't get mine to pull up. But yes, there is a provision so you can terminate it and get out if you need to.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Tin been there for 100 years. That's a historical site, and you guys tore it down.
I met SHPO on site and we went through the building, and so we had their blessing to do the changes that need to be made.
Any other questions?
Didn't tear it down, y'all.
Anyone from the public? All right, gentlemen, your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Resolution number 6212 has been passed and adopted. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing on the new application of J&M Ventures LLC, doing business as Risky's, 2317 North 6th Street, Beatrice, Nebraska, for a Class C liquor license. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Rob Mierau, still Chief Building Inspector, I think. Did the planning and zoning report for this. Risky's, we all know where it's at out there, 2317 North 6th. North, east, south is all zone general commercial. On the west of there is R4 zone for multifamily residential, which is the mobile home park. There's quite a few less mobile homes there at this point. So I don't see any.
You've got a couple halves there at the present.
What's that?
You've got a couple of halves at the present in the mobile home
Yeah,
park.
working on a few of those, so, but I don't see any negative effects on this. Again, as an additional note, that this establishment has had a liquor license for many years, and this is a change of ownership for that.
Chief, you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Bruce Lang, Chief of Police. The standard liquor license application was conducted here, and nothing was uncovered that would preclude us from recommending approval.
Any questions of the Chief Building Inspector, the Chief? All right, Mr. Catlin, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Mayor, I would move that the public hearing be closed at 7:30 PM.
Second?
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Billsbach, that the public hearing be closed at 7:30 PM. Your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending the Beatrice City Code regarding junked motor vehicles.
Mayor, I would move that said ordinance be given number 18-008. The title therefore be approved. The rules be suspended and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Billsbach, that the ordinance be given number 18-008, the title thereof approved, rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. A motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 18-008 by number the first time, ordinance number 18-008 by number the second time, and ordinance number 18-008 by number the third and final time.
Mayor, I move that said ordinance number 18-008 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Party, that ordinance number 18-008 be passed and adopted. Are you going to take this? Or is Tobias going to
take
take
this
this? All right.
So as we have talked in the last couple meetings, we haven't changed anything since we met at the work session 2 weeks ago. There's still just the 3 big changes within it. One is removal of the word motor from the definition. As we had some experiences in the past where we tried to approach a trailer or something like that, it didn't have a motor in it, and so we were unsuccessful. This definition still includes boats and trailers, ATVs, campers, golf carts. All those things fall within the definition that we have outlined in the ordinance. As we talked about last time, as far as what happens, once we have identified a vehicle that we believe to be a junk vehicle, very similar to today's process, you're going to get a letter, either by certified mail or by personal service. The only difference today, you get 21 days to come to compliance. Under the proposed ordinance, you get 30 days. We're looking to extend that time period to match up with what people have to get a vehicle registered if they buy it new. That's a common complaint that we hear out there, and so we look to address that one. After that initial time period has passed, the current process is it gets forwarded on to the city attorney's office, ultimately files prosecution in the court system. We go through the criminal case. That's still an option through the proposed ordinance. That doesn't change. We'd also argue that in today's ordinance, we have the right to declare that vehicle a nuisance and have it removed or towed away. We've never done that. The proposed ordinance still gives us that authority, but we lay out the appeal process and the mechanism to which to do that. How do we give notice? What do we do after we've towed the vehicle? Those things aren't laid out in today's ordinance, and we're proposing to put those in the new one, exactly how you make the appeal and who you appeal to and how long you have and those types of things. And then the ordinance that we have today doesn't have any exceptions in it, although our practice has been to have some of those. We've written them out now in the proposed ordinance before you tonight. We have the hobbyist permit that we've talked about. Again, you're allowed to have 2 vehicles at your house. Your residence that you're working on have a hobbyist permit. Those are good for 6 months. You can renew them 1 time. We have the business exemption. Again, you have the greater of 1 vehicle or 10% of the registered vehicles for your business. It has to be associated with your business. Having a bank try to claim that they've got a cement loader as a valid business purpose probably is not going to qualify. It's got to be tied to your business in one way, shape, form, or another. And those are good for 1 year, but they cannot be renewed, so that gives the business a year to come into compliance or to get that vehicle up and running. And then we have race cars. Obviously, those are a big part of our community. We grant 2 of those per residence, and those are good for 1 year. Some businesses we've just flat out exempted, car dealerships, tow companies, things like that. We've just exempted those out completely just due to the nature of their business. And I think the only change from what you've seen before is in the fee resolution. This time we just made all the fees $50. Last time I think we had one of them at $75. We just made them all $50 based upon our conversation at the work session.
Ted?
I support this. I've supported it every time we've done it. I just would like to note that this is already having the desired effect. You've got a couple of places in town that we've had problems with in the past that, as I went by them in the last few days, all the cars are gone. So they were well aware that they were in violation of the other ordinance, but there wasn't enough teeth in it, and they've subsequently cleaned it up. So nice work, you guys. So us, little pat on the back. It's having the desired effect. So
Rich?
I'm like Ted, I support this too, and, but on your towing, we will contract with a towing outfit. Where are they gonna take the cars? Are we gonna have a city lot or?
Right now, the police department has some tow companies they have a contract with. I think they just rotate 1 month after the next. I'm sure we'll just get on that same list if we need to use one. If we need to tow a vehicle, we would look for probably some own city property at this point just to go store them at this time, just to save ourselves the storage cost, whether that be the landfill, the WPC, something like that, where we've got a locked gate that we can put them back behind. We would look at different properties like that to start with.
Okay, once we get them towed and say they're in lockup for 3-4 months or whatever, and those people haven't come to claim them or whatever, abandon them, what's our recourse? Say they're a viable vehicle to be on the road. Can we quit claim a deed on the, or a title on the thing, or how would that work?
The state statute's very clear on how you have that process works. Captain Lampkin's very good at it. There's a certain period of time that has to pass before it's deemed to be abandoned. And once it's abandoned, you go through this process of giving notice and going through those steps. At the end of that, the city's able to basically liquidate the car. You pay yourself back for storage and fees incurred. Anything that's left over gets paid back out to the owner of the vehicle.
Okay, I just didn't know how it worked, so I just wanted to find, because if somebody asks me, I'll say, Abby's gonna take it, and too bad.
Rick, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm glad we're already seeing some results from this, but have we had any feedback since the last time we spoke about this? Anybody else has called today would rather?
I have not received any feedback.
Okay.
Have not. Any other questions of the council? What about the public? Any questions from the public? All right, gentlemen, your vote, please. That is approved 6-1 with Mr. Catlin.
Abstaining, right?
With Mr. Catlin abstaining.
Yes.
Ordinance number 18-008 has been passed and adopted. Next item is a resolution number 6217, establishing various fees. Mr. Catlin?
I'm sorry.
Oh, all right.
Mayor, I would move that resolution number 6217 be passed and adopted.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Morgan, that resolution number 6217 be passed and adopted.
Our practice has been for the last several years is we try to put all of our fees into one location, so when you're looking for them, it's a lot easier to find them. You know which ones are current, which ones aren't. Hence, we have the fee resolution. Now that you've adopted a new ordinance that has some fees set forth in it, you have to bring back the fee resolution to amend or add in those fees, and so that's what you see before you. The only things that have been changed are the addition of the hobbyist, the business, and the car exemption, race car exemptions that we just talked about. As I noted, each one of those has been set at $50. They have varying times that they're valid for, but each one has been set at $50.
Questions?
Comments?
Comments?
I think $50 is still too high for a hobby thing. I think these guys are doing it for the fun. Sometimes it's a poorer person even doing it. And to expect them to pay $50 just to have some personal fun, I think it's too much. I'd rather increase the fines. Is there fines for this actually then, or just?
The fines, if you're in violation, would be a minimum of $100 fine, maximum of $500. Those funds go to the school district.
I don't matter. I would like to see the fines increased and the initial cost be decreased by at least half. Shouldn't have to. If I like to fish, I shouldn't have to pay you to guys, because I live in the city, to go fish.
You gotta get a fishing permit.
You gotta get a permit.
Not to the city, I don't.
Still gotta get one from the state.
I don't think it's right to have to charge someone to do a hobby.
Okay.
You don't have to have a golf permit, do you?
Gotta pay green
Pay
fees.
green fees.
Got to. Well, later.
Yeah, but those aren't going back to the city of Beatrice.
Correct. Any other,
I think it's wrong to charge someone for a hobby.
any other questions from the public? All right, your vote, please. And that is approved 5-2 with Councilman Catlin and Councilman Party voting against. Resolution number 18-008 has been approved. I beg your pardon. Resolution number 6217 has been approved. Beg your pardon. All right, the next item on the agenda is the public forum. Purpose of the public forum is for the presentation of an item by the general public to the city council for consideration at a later date. No discussion or action will be taken by the city council at this time. Anything for the public forum from the council? From the public? Mr. Dorn? Just your name and address, if you would, Myron.
Myron Dorn, 15717 East Aspen Road, Adams, Nebraska. Currently, I'm chairman of the Gage County Board. Visited with the mayor this afternoon and told him what I would like to come to this board and visit about a little bit tonight. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak at this public forum. As most of you know, or some of you know, there have been some negative ads that have been running on some local radio stations as well as some radio stations in Lincoln about me. I wanted to come here tonight and have a discussion with you and let you know my thoughts on some of these. There's 2 points they've been making in that ad. One is that I gave myself a raise for 7 years in a row on the county board. That is not true. When I came on the county board in January of 2011, the salary for that 4-year term was set approximately a year before. County boards are required to set salaries for all county elected officials at least 1 year in advance of their date that they take office. That is so that when somebody decides to file or run for that office, they know what that salary will be for those 4 years. So I was not involved in that decision. In my second term, which started in January of 2015, I was involved in that decision. We voted on that in approximately January of 2014. At that time, we decided, the board voted to give just the County Board of Supervisors a 2% raise each of the next 4 years. So I was involved in those 4 years' decisions. We did likewise again here approximately in around January 1st. We did set salaries again for all elected officials. That, however, is for the next term, which I no longer will be on the board at that time. The second thing that the ad says is that I have paid my property taxes late 15 times, and over 100 times I have paid them late on other properties I own. That is not true. If you go to the Gage County Treasurer's website, it says that property taxes are due December 31st. First half of property taxes are delinquent May 1st. The second half are delinquent September 1st. If they are referring to the fact that once they become due, after that they're late, then I, like most of the taxpayers in Gage County, are also late. The other possibility I visited with Lori Wallingberg, our county treasurer, today is that I've always paid them shortly before or on May 1st or September 1st. Because of the volume of partials they get in and the volume of payments, they are not able to always post them by May 1st, and quite often they are posted May 5th, May 7th, May 8th. If you look on the public records, that's when it shows that it was posted as being paid. However, if you pay them before the date of May 1st, they are not delinquent and you do not get charged a fee. I have never been charged a fee or any interest. I just wanted to thank you, this board, and hopefully other people, and I get the word out that those ads are very misleading. I do not like them, but I just wanted to thank this board and anybody else listening that I had the opportunity to come and clarify some of those things. I will be around later. If anybody would like to visit, I will be staying. We'll be glad to visit. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Myron. Next item on the agenda, item 7, is discussion and reports, and we're going to get a recap of the citywide cleanup from our street superintendent, Jason Moore. Jason?
Good evening, guys. As you can see on the report that you have in front of you, I'm guessing this last year was slightly over projected or slightly over last year's numbers. The number of locations were up by 10. Total man hours, the reason that is because we had an extra man. That's the reason why you see a difference in man hours there. One more guy than what we had last year. The drop-off loads were figured in with our roll-offs down at First and Ella. So when you see 85 loads, that's including the 7 roll-off loads, I believe, that we had from the 30-yard roll-offs for mattresses. So if you take that off, you're looking at about, 78 loads. Is that right? No, I'm sorry. Yes. So about 78 loads is what we would have had. We had 7 30-yard roll-offs that we took with mattresses. So I really think last year we changed Clean City. We took it from a 5-day project, moved it down to 4 10s. The guys are able to do Clean City in 3 days now. This year we did not have any overtime. Didn't have any accidents either. So, I really think moving it down to 3 days, it made the areas larger to pick up. But what we were able to do was tie the areas a little more so that on Monday we pick up the northeast corner of town, everything north of Court and east of 6th. On Tuesday, Beatrice Sanitary comes through and picks up anything that we may have left behind because it was a small object. Tuesday is the west side, everything west of 6th Street. Thursday is pickup for everything west of 6th Street. And then Wednesday, I believe Thursday is their pickup also. So we were able to tie the 3 days in so that anything that we would have left because it would have been a small item would have been picked up either the next day or the next day from Beatrice Sanitary. So I think the program this was an exceptional year. I was extremely happy with the way it turned out. The fact, one, we had no accidents. And, I think everything really, really worked smoothly.
Questions of Jason? Dwight?
I have a half one. Thank you guys very much for doing that. Do you think the mattress thing worked out way better this time around too?
Oh, I do.
Drop off to the box?
I do. We kept it away from the ball fields. Last year we had it at the parking lot south of the Scott Street ball fields. We still had a lot of mattresses that would get dropped off at night. You can't prove it. Last year I know I seen trailers coming with out-of-county plates. So last year I know I could prove that there were trucks and trailers coming in dropping off mattresses last year. This year there's a little more light. I think I think it just worked out a lot better for us. The landfill was able to come in every morning about 8:30, pick it up. With Clean City really affecting both of my departments, I feel it worked out a lot better where it was.
I had a question also. Just I noticed on the way to council meeting tonight, there was a couch east of here somewhere. It's got grass growing up right by the sidewalk on their front yard, couch and a chair.
Bell Street, maybe?
I think it was like 8th. I'm not sure. It might have been, I don't know.
Okay.
What do we do? Do we turn those in and get ticketed for?
What happens is Mr. McGrewy goes out, finds them, he sends them a standard 5-day notice, tell them they've got an opportunity to 5 days to get removed. If they fail to do that, then we go out, we pick it up, and we send them a bill.
Okay, I just noticed there's only a couple of items. Most of them's been taken care of, it sounds like to me.
I've got one straggler, I think, went out later, didn't call. They're at 722 Bell, I think, that I'm dealing with.
That might be it.
Just a couple of stragglers left over. They either missed their days or didn't call or put stuff out that wasn't allowed that I'm dealing with right now. So
Thank you.
hopefully we'll have those cleaned up.
Good.
I was just gonna say too that job well done. Everything turned out really well. How many mattresses was it?
There's 210 cubic yards, and they were full cubic yards, so there was probably slightly over that. I would be completely guessing whether or not they're stacked in there nicely. Which when people drop them off, they pretty much just drag them in there and leave them. So it would be hard to speculate that one. But there were not as many mattresses as what we had last year, but still a tremendous amount because every morning we would go down there and the roll-off would be full and they would be stacked up around the roll-off.
I had one complaint, and it was funny because it was from one of the pickers. He said, man, now they only got 3 days to go. I have to get the whole city in 3 days to pick up all my stuff. I'm like, that's hard.
Perfect. All right. Any other comments? Yes, Bob.
I think it went really smooth as well.
well. I think it was great. I think you guys did a great job. I have one question. Do you think it would make your job easier, it would help the city if in the fall we had one Saturday that was a free redemption day or a drop-off day at the dump where they had to take their own to the dump, but give them
For
access?
big items?
Yeah.
Bigger items.
Yeah, yeah.
It could. There would have to be stipulations on what we could accept.
Right.
It's something we can definitely take a look at.
I just thought, if you could reduce
Sure.
some of it
Sure.
there, it'd be less for you guys to pick up.
Unfortunately, I do believe there are people that rat hole their stuff away all year long waiting for Clean City. We've all seen, we've all seen the piles. And I know firsthand, I've actually had somebody tell me that I'll just set it aside till Clean City. So, does it happen? Yes. Could it benefit Clean City? It just astonishes me every year how many mattresses we have.
Rick?
It's a good thing.
Jason, it all went really well. Is there anything that you would suggest that we do for next year that could tweak it any better?
You know what? Really, right now I can't. I think by tweaking it down, moving it down to 3 days, giving us a little more time to get around. We didn't have any overtime. My guys were coming in just after 4 o'clock 2 of the 3 days. One day was a little light. I want to say it was actually Wednesday, actually had more loads than normal. And Tuesday, being the west side area, usually the west side is our heavy load. Usually it takes long. I understand. I'm a west sider too, but I usually Tuesday is the day that we're pushing to make it in on time. This year we didn't see the large piles, the huge piles that you would see sitting in front of some of these properties. And I think that's what helped us. And I think with the numbers that you see being down on Tuesday, that benefited us. Like I said, Wednesday, the area south of Scott and east of 6th and east of 19th, that area is usually is the lightest day that we have. And you see its numbers were up there this year. But I can't. Really, I thought when we reduced it down to 3 days, tied it in with Beatrice Sanitary being either the next day or the next day after that for picking up, we really got the word out there about how this was large item pickups only. And really, I didn't see the piles. I've seen white goods out there, but the scrappers picked them up before we ever got to them. We didn't see the big piles this year. And so, as you can see, I believe there was 10 more loads than last year. But I would consider what we're doing right now a pretty good place to stay.
I think we also had good cooperation with sanitary garbage. I think we worked with them to understand what they deemed a large item and what we deemed a large item, make sure they matched up. And so if somebody put something out, sanitary garbage was on top of it and picked it up if they were normally going to pick it up, and if not. So I think that was a good conversation, a good communication between our organization and theirs. So we didn't have to wait for too long to have some of those items picked up.
Ted?
Well, from 2016, you're down 400 sites essentially. So you're going to reach a saturation point. So I guess I don't have any true complaints about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that if in the next year or the year following that, we start to see more illegal dumping because we're not picking the other things up, we need to swing this pendulum back the other way. Because as I look at this and go, so I try to remind everyone, City of Beatrice is a service industry. We don't make anything. We don't produce anything. We're just here to serve the public. And so when I look at this from 2016 to 2018, there's 400 different sites within the city that didn't get served. So I don't have a problem with it as long as it's all working, and it appears to be. But if we have more illegal dumping and those things move out, then we need to have this pendulum swing back, and everybody needs to be aware of that.
I think some of the reduction may be us educating people what sanitary garbage will pick up.
Yes.
And so just telling them that you don't need to wait till April to put it out. If you put it out in March, December, sanitary garbage will pick it up and take care of it. And I think that may have, but yes, we do need to keep vigilant and make sure that Chet's not finding those illegal dump sites out there someplace. And
I think our pushing into large item pickup, because when you see an illegal dump site, most generally it's couches, recliners, it's your large items that somebody's throwing out there, most generally. And I really think that the drop that you see isn't necessarily so much because people aren't putting, they're going to do the illegal dump site thing. I think you're looking at the numbers being dropped because people, over the years, people got to the point where they would stick everything and anything out, and we would have multiple pickup locations per block, and now we go blocks where we don't have anything at all. And so I think people have just gotten a better understanding about what they can put out. And we really pushed it. Yeah, Beatrice Sanitary. One of the guidelines that I like to tell people is that if one adult man can pick up your item, one adult man can pick it up. Beatrice Sanitary will take it. And so the televisions that were put out, Beatrice Sanitary is picking those up now. And I think that's why, and I know that's why, you see a lot of this. We see so many televisions that are little bitty ones. And we would see clothes baskets with stuff full, that we've got in the past, and that added to our locations. And so,
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I'm just telling you that if this thing's going the other way and we have illegal dump sites, that's one of the very main reasons that we do this.
Sure.
It's
a great program, and I think it went very smoothly this year.
That being said, I agree with Bob. I think a free Saturday in the fall is, it only benefits somebody that has a pickup or somebody that has the big.
Or an entrepreneur who says, I'll take it out there for $50 or whatever, because you've got some people that would probably be glad to help. Or there's also people who help out some elderly folks and say, sure, jump it, I'll take it out there for you.
I can't tell you how many, when I'm taking my Christmas tree down at the drop site, I can't tell you how many I stop pick up on my way. So, I got you.
If we could find a way to keep it, and we discussed that one time about the possibility of a driver's license swipe, or some way of figuring out whether or not your county or your Beatrice would be the only things, so that when the guys are taking this, you'd have to do it on a Saturday. The guys are still getting your average Saturday pickup also, and so there would be an increased flow. You would have to have the guys being able to recognize who's from Beatrice.
That's true. Strangest item.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Strangest item.
Oh, brother.
Okay, Jason, thank you very much. Thanks for the job that you guys did. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Our next regular city council meeting is going to be on Monday, May 21st at 7 o'clock, and there will not be a work session in the month of May. Catlin, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, I would move that the Beatrice City Council meeting be adjourned at 7:58 p.m.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Billsbach, that the meeting be adjourned at 7:58 p.m. Your vote, please, and that is approved 7-0. Thank you, everyone, for coming.